right, welcome everyone. My name is Caitlin Shea. I'm the Events and Media Director for Walt Whitman Birthplace. We're so excited to be able to have these Zoom events during this difficult time of social distancing. And having a lot of participants. Please keep sharing the word about these poetry events. And we're going to be putting up links for donating soon. We appreciate that so much. Any amount right now would help us while we don't have tours and we can't have our regularly scheduled events. And today we have Mary Healey. She's been a friend of the Birthplace for some time. The first time I saw Mary do a reading for us was during Walking with Whitman last year. And I had spoken to her before. She's so funny. I had talked to her on the phone for like an hour. Every time she calls, we have this great connection. And then when she performed, I realized her sense of humor comes through in her poetry as well. And that's how I've been sort of promoting this event, is I thought this is such a great time for an uplifting poet to be performing for us. She was also scheduled to do a postcard poetry contest. Postcard poetry workshop for us this month, but unfortunately that had to be postponed. So she was the first person I called as a friend of Birthplace to share with us her poetry and be a person to help us promote these events. She's one of our first performers for these events. And she's a notable and distinguished Long Island poet. If you read her bio, she talks about the art of poison, which I have to copy paste her bio all the time. And so I always wanted to ask her about that. Maybe you could tell us more about that too, Mary. You know, I just love that part of your bio. It's so playful and I want to know more. But if you want to tell us now or maybe at the end.
Oh, I could tell you.
Yeah, please do.
The problem is if I tell you, no, it's a thing. It's just so. I'm just working on something that the police have asked me not to speak about, and I can't really talk about it. It's just something I do really like to do, and that's all for right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for being here today, for doing this for us. It really makes a difference. While we can't give tours and we can't have our usual events, we have you. We called upon you as like our first person that we thought of that we knew would bring entertainment to everyone and share their talent with them. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Mary.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Where are you? I'm here. I'm here in Hicksville, locked up with my mom. Who knew? I want to thank the Birthplace for inviting me to this event. I want to thank Caitlin for all her help and kindness. I'd like to thank everybody at the Birthplace who's been very, very kind to me. And what do we say? Oh, I know. On with the show. Okay, the first poem that I'd like to read is from Walt Whitman. And I think it's prevalent, I think, especially in this time. This was something he wrote in his first book before his first publishing, and it was only prior to 1855, and they never put it in the book again for a while, and it was called "This is What You Shall Do. Love the earth and the sun and the animals. Despise rich, aim to give everyone that asks. Stand up for the stupid and crazy. Devote your income and labor to others. Hate tyrants. Argue, not concerning God. Have patience and indulge toward the people. Take off your hat to nothing, known or unknown. or any man, or any number of men. Go freely with power, uneducated persons, and with the young, and with the mothers of families. Read these leaves in the open air, every season of every year of your life. Re-examine all you've been told at school, at church, or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your soul, and you very flesh shall be a great poem. And I thought it was prevalent for today. I am the rising anger of my father. I am the creative eyes of my mother. I am Southern, born below the Mason-Dixon line. I am a junk drawer of possibilities. I am an overfilled purse, afraid to leave anyone or anything behind. I am a purple hydrangea at the end of summer. I am lonely at parties. I am brown eyes under glasses. I am unexpected. It's a nice sunny afternoon. I'm lucky. The last couple of days have been kind of crappy. So this is called Pulmonac. Born of the mouth of a fish, 9 months gestation, resting in tall sweet grass, a solitary start, under an old May moon. Beach waves pattern the heart, touch the foam waves, sight of rising sun, resting in the Atlantic. Sounds of gulls reverberate, my thousand songs, to troubadour, letting nothing escape, under the scent of lilacs, birthing the leaves of grass. Thank you. Live. My sister wants me to read a poem about her. She's in California. My little white soldiers. Sunrise licks the horizon. War looms before me. Prepare. Bless myself. Troops parade strengths. Coated uniforms. Combat ready. Pain. A forceful adversary. Weakened defenses. Reinforcements received. Battle lines dissolve. Failure blurs success. Toxic, painless. Victory. Who told you that? My sister from California told my mother to stop the clock because the ticking is too loud and annoying. I'd like to lean this right up to it so she could hear it loudly. I am the oldest of 6 children. I am the very best of 6 children. Anybody in my family's been muted, so I can say what I like. And this is a poem that I wrote when I was a kid. We used to go to a Chinese restaurant in Harlem called the Tien Sin, and it was nice. We would drive there in the station wagon, so it would be all 6 of us, packed in a car all the way down, and it was fun because we would drive through Harlem past the Apollo, and there was right after the Apollo there was a store that sold afros, and what they did is they had them like long white tables sitting out in front of the store, and they would have rows of afros, and they had them in every color that you could imagine. And the last afro was a rainbow afro. And I always thought that that was my favorite. That was the best afro. And it's just a very fond memory. It's funny, when I was a kid, I wasn't as fond of going into the city. In regards to going to the restaurant, I wanted to be, as I got a little older, I'd rather stay home while my parents and my brothers and sisters went out so I could be by myself. So this is called Shark Fin Soup. You bring back chopstick memories, packed in a red station wagon, driving through Harlem, down past the Apollo Theater, past the Afro store, rows of afros adorned on white styrofoam heads, the last one always rainbow, parked in front of the Tien Sin, large round tables, eating Asian family style. Dad taught us all to use chopsticks. Lazy Susan hubs each table, blue rice patterned dishes laid out, hot pickled soup, mushu pork, dumplings, mado tofu, hot shredded beef, and sweet and sour chicken. Before our eyes closed, swimming from the weight of that banquet, presented with a check, a white plate, fried bananas dipped in a sweet syrup. On our way home, crossing the bridge, the New York skyline miniaturized, laying under our lids, with a sweet memory on our tongue. It's a nice memory. Okay, my next poem is called Buddy. Now this is for my sister's, Ellen's daughter, Sarah. When she was younger, she could get me into a lot of trouble. She would entice me to do stupid things, which most people know it doesn't really take much for to do that. But, do things in the restaurants where when everybody's trying to keep calm and you're the oldest and, you're now older than the oldest. And, you're doing all these silly things. So I had a good time with Sarah. She would come into the house and we had a tea set, and she would come around and she would be a waitress and she would pour tea for all of us into cups. And then I would drink it and I would go, oh my God, it's so hot. And I would drop the cup and she would laugh. And then she would bring over another cup of tea for me. And she would ask me, I said, this time the tea's not hot. Is that correct? It's just warm. And she's like, oh no, it's all right. And then I would drink it and I would pretend it was burning my mouth. And when I think on that, it's sort of sadistic and interesting, but still. And this poem is called Buddy for Sarah. She stands motionless, a small deer caught in the headlights of a 5-and-dime store, assorted toys pegged on a wooden wall, and a tremble of excitement coated her. Round jade eyes smiled at me. A smooth, soft skin fingered points higher than she can reach. The prize, a large yellow whoopee cushion, which she entertains us later. Her mother tells me before the sun of Sunday, she woke to the sound of my $3 gift. The comfort of strangers. Evening sweaters the train station. Fluorescent lights flicker, cast shadows, fill cracks and flaws. She flashes a homely smile. He bends forward to speak, swallows his words. Fringe moments, quiet acceptance, shallow kindness, scented in loneliness. A cold dust settles, marks their place. The train pulls away, unattached. The vow. Each day suggests another chance for the truth to come forward. I swallow hard, forcing it back down. Skin crawls from your touch. A scarlet rash forms around the ring. My 30 pieces of silver hang in the closet, dry, clean, preserved, shackling me to my fairy tale. Hunter Street. You let yourself out. The door snaps shut, cutting across the lawn, your weight impressed on each blade. Footprints soon to disappear, picking up the leaves that permanently fell before the blanket of autumn. Maple leaves, scarred with black holes like cigarette burns, each trying to escape their future, only to find themselves scattered over the roots, taking the last leap of faith, or just too diseased to care. Either way, there will be no home to come back to. Okay. This is a poem that I wrote about Nick Flynn. I have a couple of friends that like Nick Flynn, and I thought this would be fun. And I had submitted it for a poetry contest. And it's so funny that after I wrote it, I was like, this is awesome. I see Pulitzers and all these wonderful things that are gonna happen to me after they read this poem. I mean, honest to God, it's like golden. It's and then I updated it a tiny bit and I submitted it to the magazine, and you knew I was gonna, I can see the thing. Congratulations, encore, encore. I just wanna thank all the little people that formed this and helped me, because it is me. And yeah, I didn't even get the poem back. I'm still here in my parents' house. Nick Flynn in Houston. Seeing you from this vantage, that familiar blue shirt, my breath slightly labored, I lean close, ears filled with your words. I have brushed against you so many times. At first, you ignored my advances, but soon you recognized my intent. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, poetry readings, restaurants, classrooms, against the broken fence outside the family home. Now, all from a distance, as per the restraining order. There you go. Everyone in my family's gonna get a copy of that for Christmas, framed. Oh yeah. Maggie. A halo of laundry spins over you while keyhole prayers fall on deaf ears. You line your pocket with free labor, Ireland's unwanted throwaways, girls and women given to you with promises of education and training, the nuns, the wardens, your wardens, with rosaries and heavy hands. They ran the laundries with profit, with pain, cloaked in prayer. And that I wrote for the Magdalene Laundries. And there wouldn't be a poetry reading from Mary Colleen Healey that didn't have this poem in it. I know all my fans, my many fans, beg me when they come up to me and say, Mary, Mary, what the hell are you doing here? It's called The Daughter's Love. Oh, mommy, how I love your pearl necklace, your sparkling diamonds, your yellow gold rings. Only my dressed reflection deserves such beauty. Your love of the garden, and so all that earth and flowers. Now you can enjoy it forever. A slippery stare, a gentle push. mulch for flowers, and jewels for the deserving. See, the only problem with that is that I have like 5 brothers and sisters, and one of them would find this out. It's just the thing. So, I mean, I could hold off for a while. I could make like, I would have a voice of my mom and I could like play it up, but I know the worst one would be my sister Kathy. I guarantee that she would want that she'd come to see her or something, and it's very hard. I could have her stuff, but that really isn't going to do anything either. So, you know, it's not going to work. But you know what? Like with the poison, I'm working on it. Always working on it. Heroin comfort. Alone, drowning on a dirty carpet. Rubber stamp braceleted around her arm. A needle's worth of separation. Trampled. Translucent. Tranquilized. Cold moves quickly. Settles around her. Despair battles passion. To submission. Time bends. Reserving judgment. Compassion filters. Over Potter's Field. I'm pausing because I'm hearing standing ovations. I hear them. It burns my ears. It's so fabulous. Not from you, Mom. Stop. It's so funny because there's even at a poetry reading, you have like some people that either they're sighing, they're clapping, whatever. You don't hear any of that. So it's like that quiet pause. So anyway, okay. Onward and upward. This is called the Knish. I wrote this because it really happened. And I had done a poetry chat book of 30 poems in 30 days. And it was on fat. And all about fat, being heavy, being, all the good things, all the uncomfortable things. That's what it was. And this is one of the poems that came from it. It's called Knish. 8th grade, dieting, at parents' request, lunchtime, lame paper bag lunch, or golden fried brown delight. I take a plastic knife and cut. Steam rises from a soft potato filling. Having a 14-year-old palate, I dip it into ketchup. With the last bite, I notice black spots. Oh my God. I've been poisoned, and I'm gonna die. I lie in the hospital ER, my parents standing over me, my mother softly crying. I whispered, I cheated. Friends and family break down at the funeral, at the cemetery, gathering around my headstone, and to read, it was only peppercorns. Stupid. Okay, stop. Probably it's going to be scary later. I'm going to find out what I've done. It's like crush. You made me pick up a snow globe of memory, shake it hard, 7th grader in a blue cowboy dress at Madison Square Garden, crowded at the stage among thousands of screaming girls. When you sang, I Think I Love You, my tiger beat heart went wild. I heard about him. I didn't know David Cassidy personally. I read about him. No, I used to really like him. I like David Cassidy, and my sister Trish, she liked Donny Osmond. And she'd cut out the Tiger Beat pictures and she'd plaster them all over our room. And she liked the Bay City Rollers too, so she would have all these pictures. So it drove me nuts. And one day we had a fight. So what I did is I took a black pencil and I darkened and blackened all the eyes of all the pictures of all the guys, so that it ruined all the pictures of Donny Osmond. And so I remember Trishy was crying. She's like, I don't understand why she'd do that. I was like, oh, you made me mad. You shouldn't have done that. I'm trying to read some of the quick things that people are writing as I'm reading.
Like go home.
Like go home. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Yes, like go home. This poem is called Peony. From nothing, she stretches. With spring, she grows to reveal a tight blossom that rests on a stalk. One morning, she flowers, a dress of pink, soft puddles. But late, awkward, and heavy, too much too soon, all her beauty wasted. Now her petals droop brown and dry. She rots on her stem, only to perpetuate it next year again. This poem I wrote for my sister Ellen. It was called Dakota. I wrote it about a dog that she had. She had a fabulous husky, and he was the most gentlest dog. Not really an animal person, but I did love this dog. Dakota, I am not like your other conquests. The way they genuflect in front of you, gushing admiration, murmuring their love. I play hard to get. In a bold move, you corner me on the couch. Dark chocolate eyes and a toothy smile win me over, playing fetch. Brad, empty of experience, your 3 scotches to my single tequila in Hunan's parking lot under a harvest moon. Dizzy with your scent, I lean close. My fingertips touch your black and gray hair. You kiss me. I can taste all of it. My boss, your wife, your girlfriend, your latest conquest, and years of lies. I don't have it. I didn't bring it with me. Okay. Homeless, sitting at curb's edge, stained with family, pungent scent of cheap liquor, chokes the morning air, quilted, cigarette burn arms, upholstered in, cruel, brutal fighting words, split lip, broken nose, belt buckle memories, drained into fabric skin, aged by submission, empty scrapbooks, empty photo albums, just Tuesday, garbage day. April is the mistress. She pads the heart, fills the cold soul of winter, blades of green, blue sky, white clouds. Hand begs for open windows to hulu the wind. Gaggles of daffodils and crocuses spill from the beds to rumble for the lawn. Robin's court with the gifts of fat earthworms. I soften around the edges. Okay, I have a request. I can't believe this. My sister wants me to read a poem, which I have no problem about. And my mother's like, she just happens to have it. Where the hell did she get this? I don't know. It's called Weightless. let me preface this. This is a poem that I wrote that romanticizes something that we used to do to my sister Kathy. Kathy is the youngest child, and we were pretty horrible. You know, she was like, you know, testing grounds. I'd make her go to the store to get me a soda when she was a little older, maybe 3 or 4. We used to scare her by putting like a tape recorder in her bassinet at night and make noises about it, make scary noises, and it would frighten her. And then my parents would go into the room, didn't know why she was crying, and that's why. And we did this thing, and I don't know if I should even say it, but you know what? You've already pulled out the poison thing, so I'm going to have to go one step further. When we were younger, my parents, they would go shopping like Sears or something. You know, it was 1 or 2 stores, and they'd leave us in the car. You know, at that time, it wasn't a big deal, and there was 6 of us in the car. So, and who would bother 6 kids? So anyway, when we saw my parents, as soon as we saw them go into the store, Kathy was sitting in a car seat in the front, and then we were like fighting for whatever area in the 2 back seats that we, you know, or the trunk. So anyway, as soon as we saw them go in, we would all yell at Kathy, "Oh, Kathy, you're bad, nobody likes you." And then we would yell like at our loudest voice, "Ah!" until she started to cry. And then she would like get into like a real cry where she started to turn red. She'd cry. And then we would wait. And as soon as we saw our parents coming out of the store, we would all hug Kathy, and we're like, "Oh, Kathy, we love you. You're so good." And by the time my parents got to the car, she would be like, and my mom's like, "What's wrong with Kathy?" And we're like, "I don't know. What's wrong with her? I don't know." We could only do this for a certain period of time until she learned how to speak, and then that was a problem. So, you know, then we had to move on to the next step. And this is called Weightless. And I wrote this for my sister Kathy. Weightless. Womb comfort, ambionic drift, pool floating, warm chlorine water, covers my ears, childhood memories, summer, swimming lessons, Kathy, youngest sister, too small for 6-foot water, bravely jumps in, when no one's looking, claws to my back, tiny arms tethered round my neck, she smiles, water rat, I whisper, attached we swim, buoyant, suspended, weightless. And the truth of the matter is that Kathy would do that. We'd be all in this 6 feet area fooling around, and she was really small. So she would want us to come to the edge so she could swim with us. And every once in a while, like we'd turn our backs, and she had no fear. She was absolutely fearless. She would jump into the 6 feet water, and then you'd feel this slap on your back, boom, and she would hold on to you. And so I would take her out as further, you know, like halfway or quarter of the way, and then I'd pull her off me and then let her go and see how far she can make it on her own. She's still around, so she did pretty good. Okay. See, now I've incriminated myself once again, and it's recorded, so this is all bad, but a lot of you've heard these stories. This is called The Natural. Sarcasm drips from his lips. Beer belly sags over his belt-buckled waist. Red and white bandana, sweat stained. Walmart cowboy boots. He likes watching the rodeo on TV, slowly slipping a root beer. At present, he is painting a sheriff, riding a palomino pony, falling from a cactus. As the tumbleweed passes, I love dreaming of the West. Paint by numbers. I don't know how much you guys still want to hear it. I don't know if I don't want to get over on time, as you know. If Caitlin you want to tell me if I'm over my time or.
Let's see. I think we have time for 1 or 2 more.
Cool.
Up for it.
I'm gonna read the red leather coin purse. The only gift she carried, holding a single silver bullet to stop her wolf. Each night she returned, pounding on her cottage door. Each night he returned, pounding on the cottage door. Bathed in the scent of whiskey in town, she lay still next to him, fists at her side, tattooed with his love. That morning, birds quietly peered into the window. This time, he lay still, matted in red, a single silver bullet tattooed with love in his heart. Okay, this is called Marshall's. People beg me to read this all the time. Not really, but whatever. Marshall's. I will die here, in this fitting room, unable to remove the size 18 dress from over my head, and no one can save me. I will live off 6 wintergreen Tic Tacs, 1 expired Kind bar, and 3 sticks of minty green scented gum. When they find my body, with the smell of sweet mint on my breath, Newsday will do a cover piece warning the dangers about trying on clothes that just don't fit. And my last poem is called the Jk Rowling of Poetry. I remember when I first started reading poetry and writing poetry, I was telling my family, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, when you write a book, you guess you're gonna, you'll make money and stuff like that." And I'm like, no, this is not. Poetry is not a money-making field. It's just not, and that's all right. And this is my poem about my rise to fame. It's called the Jk Rowling of Poetry. My pen writes for me dreams of my book, the connection of brain to hand. I will sit at a mahogany desk, passing wisdom with my first edition. Signature signed, audience waves frantically, books fly off the shelf. NPR, PBS, Costco, all want me. More book deals, movie rights, interviews, maybe, just maybe, even a pushcart. Listen, I hear the wind, and it's whispering. Shh, my name. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Mary. Thank you so much. ONG has her Whitman magnet finger puppet.
I left Emily Dickinson upstairs. I didn't think it was fair or right.
One at a time. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you want to turn on your camera right now, what we've been doing is taking pictures of the audience that we would post later on our social media. All right, I'm going to give everyone a second to do that. And just sort of hang out. You can look like you're doing something else. You can look at us and give a smile. It's up to you. All right. I'm going to start taking them. Perfect. Great. And we got a great crowd here. Wonderful. Right. And then Mary offered to help us raise donations through her postcard poetry. You want to tell us more about that, Mary?
Yeah. I don't have a book, and I'd like to raise a little money for the birthplace. And I thought if you would like to do this, if you donate money after the reading to the birthplace, just $1, a couple of dollars is fine, whatever you can do. If you send them your address, I will send you a postcard with your own poem on it that I will write specifically for you. Yes, I know. You're all excited, and I would be too if it was me, because I am me. and you know, I know my family is going to go nuts because they're going to beg me for poetry, but I very much like to do this. So if you'd like to donate to the birthplace anything, and you leave your address, I will gladly take my rubber gloved hands, latex hands, and my mouth covered with a mask and go to the post office and send you a postcard with a poem on it. It would be my pleasure, honestly. The birthplace, wonderful place, and it's a great meeting place, and it's one of the very beginning places where my poetry started.
Thank you so much, Mary. We really appreciate that. And now if everyone could unmute their mics. I know I told you to mute them in the beginning, and let's just give a big round of applause to Mary, because that was so amazing. Thank you, Mary. Great. Yay!
Yay! Bravo, bravo.
Bravo.
Questions.
Thank you.
I don't know the best way to do this. You can type your questions, or we might be able to have people just shout them out. Let's just see how that works. We're still configuring the way this works.
Mary, are you still giving the postcard workshop at some point?
Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely I am. Yes.
Great.
As I put my head closer to the screen, I noticed that, you see, this is called the coronavirus haircut. There you go. Up, down. I decided that I wasn't going to color my hair again, but I was going to try and cut it for this. So I trimmed it a little, and I totally screwed that up.
I think we all have coronavirus hair.
Yes.
Oh, and I've posted a link in the chat if you're interested in donating and having the postcard to you by Mary. So you can check that out. And if you donate today, you will get other questions.
Could you put a link to the donation button in the chat?
Yes, it's in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, just in case.
It's make or break time. Is it a donation button?
I don't know. I think you have to send it to the birthplace.
Yeah, you'll see it there. It's a link. And it's also available on our website anytime. If you look in the chat, you'll see it.
Volunteer medical staff and
Look at that.
provide free.
So I have a question for Mary. Mary, what was your mother's reaction the first time she heard a daughter's love?
The totally unlikely, totally predictable rise of Joe
Sometimes
Biden.
it's a
In the
shame.
end, it was Biden,
That's
not
how you give a
Sanders.
message.
Trump, like,
Yeah.
She was frightened. Nah, kind of knows. But my favorite thing was Maria Montebianco heard it when I first read it at Farmingdale. I'm sorry, I could hear it. At Farmingdale Library, and when I said to her, I wrote this poem about my mom, and she was like, I thought she was going to start to like choke up a little. And then when I read it, she was like so shocked, and she's like, I think after that poem, she never saw me in the same light again. and a lot of times, a lot of my poetry friends, I think, Tony, you know too, that it's like people ask me, so how's your mom doing? And I'll say, well, she's still alive. What are you going to do?
I'm here.
She's here.
I'm your biggest fan.
You're not my biggest fan. Be quiet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm not your biggest fan.
We have that link in the chat now. It was actually going to the waiting room before, which no one is in the waiting room anymore. We're all in here. So be sure to check out that link. And what other questions do we have?
No questions. I guess I've worn everybody out with my talking, my poetry.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I see so many familiar faces, so it's so exciting that we're able to connect this way right now. And remember that if you donate today, you get your own personal postcard from Mary. I have one that I got from our gift shop, so they're collector's edition.
That picture behind me is from Caitlin. She did that for the Walt Whitman Birthplace to for the 200th anniversary. So and so
Very nice.
I want to say again, thank you to everyone. I really appreciate everyone coming to listen to me. You guys, a lot of you've heard what I've read before, and it's just nice. This is a tough time for everyone. It really is. Everyone's touched by it, and it's nice to come together. Yeah, even if it has to be come together hearing my poetry. But it's lovely. I even got to blow dry my hair today. Woohoo! And I put pants on. Never mind. I spoke too much. Said too much. So sorry. Real clothes. I'm a big girl now. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank
If
you.
you haven't signed up for emails yet to get notified about our future events, we're having another one next Thursday. Her name is Kristen Mclaughlin. She's an author of a preteen novel called Drawing with Whitman. So to get updates on that event and all of our future events, please sign up for our email list on our website. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.